We always look up to the stars when we think about humanity's biggest secrets. But what if I told you the greatest mysteries aren't out there in the cosmos, but are buried, literally, right under our feet?
No, really think about it. The ground we walk on every single day. For thousands of years, stories from all over the world have talked about these hidden passages, these secret gateways to entire worlds built underground, to escape disaster, to talk to gods, or maybe to hide things that were never meant to be found.
And here's the thing. This isn't just mythology.
We've actually found these places, and what they show us is that for centuries, for reasons we are only just starting to piece together, civilizations have been drawn to the dark. So, what do you say? Let's start our descent and see what we can dig up.
Okay, our investigation is going to start in Turkey, with what has to be one of the most mind-blowing subterranean discoveries of all time. We're talking about a complete, functioning city, hidden from the world for centuries.
And you're not going to believe how they found it. Back in the 1960s, a local guy is just doing some renovations on his house. Knocks down a wall in his basement, and behind it, he doesn't find more rock. He finds a tunnel. And that tunnel just happened to be the entrance to the lost city we now call Derinkuyu. And listen, this was no little hideout. Archaeologists figure this city could have housed up to 20,000 people. 20,000. That's a small modern town, all living underground, totally self-sufficient, completely hidden from view. The engineering is what really gets me. This wasn't some temporary bunker. This thing goes down 280 feet. It had complex ventilation shafts to bring in fresh air, its own wells for water, and get this, massive half-ton stone doors they could roll into place to seal off the tunnels. They had everything, stables for their animals, kitchens, storage, the whole shebang.
So here's where it gets complicated. The easy answer, the obvious one, is that Derinkuyu was a giant shelter, a place to hide from invaders. And sure, it was definitely that. But that doesn't explain everything. Why would you go to all the trouble of carving out wineries and chapels if you were just trying to survive for a little while? It suggests they were planning to live down there, to have a real community, and that changes the whole story. All right, so to see how this idea of a deeper purpose plays out, we need to jump thousands of miles away to Mexico, right under the massive pyramids of Teotihuacan. Because here we find tunnels that were built for a totally different reason. Not to protect the body, but to guide the soul.
And this comparison really shows you the shift we're making. Derinkuyu was all about practical survival, right? An engineering marvel. But the tunnels at Teotihuacan, well, they seem to be something else entirely. They look like these carefully designed stages for sacred rituals, almost like a physical gateway to another world.
This place was also found by accident. In 2003, heavy rains opened up a sinkhole, and what archaeologists found was a 330-foot tunnel that had been sealed on purpose almost 2,000 years ago. And it wasn't empty. Oh no, it was packed with thousands of offerings, jade statues, seashells, you name it. And the most amazing part? The walls were dusted with powdered pyrite, fool's gold, so that in the torchlight it would have glittered like a sky full of stars.
But the weirdest discovery of all was at the very end of this tunnel. Large amounts of liquid mercury. Now, the main theory is that this incredibly rare, shimmering metal was used to create symbolic rivers and lakes to literally recreate the underworld. Can you imagine that? Priests walking through a man-made cosmos to speak with their gods? Okay, so if Teotihuacan was about building a symbolic underworld for the soul, our next stop in Peru, well, it takes things a step further. They built an underworld to directly mess with the human mind.
The tunnels under the temple at Chavin de Hantar weren't for living in. They weren't for offerings. They were basically instruments. A maze of passages, all different sizes, designed to completely disorient you, to cut you off from your senses, and to amplify sounds in really terrifying ways. The acoustics in here are so wild, it's believed they were used in initiation rituals to literally break down a person's sense of reality.
But if there's one thing these ancient worlds teach us, it's that the mystery just keeps getting deeper. And nothing, nothing, is more mysterious than our last sight. A gigantic underground project in China that, according to all written history, just doesn't exist. So in 1992, some local villagers decide to drain a pond, and they find an entrance to a massive hand-carved cave. And then they found over 20 more. The scale here is it's hard to wrap your head around. They estimate 1 million cubic meters of rock was chiseled out by hand. To put that in perspective, that is an incredible amount of work even with today's machine. And here it is, the ultimate mystery. Ancient China was famous for keeping meticulous records. They wrote down everything. And yet, there is not a single mention, not one historical text that says anything about the construction of the Longyu Caves. It's like an entire civilization carved out this massive underground complex and then just vanished, taking the memory of it with them. So let's just take a breath and recap what we've seen. We've got a fully functioning city in Turkey, a cosmic portal in Mexico, a mind-bending labyrinth in Peru, and a ghost project in China that shouldn't even exist. Each one is its own separate world with its own profound, lingering question mark. So what does all this tell us? It tells us there's no single, easy reason why our ancestors went underground. The motives were as complex as the tunnels themselves, and as complex as the human mind. Sometimes it was about survival, protecting the body. Other times it was about ritual, connecting the soul. And sometimes the reason is just gone, completely lost to time. And that all leads to one last, Really exciting thought. All these incredible worlds were hidden for thousands of years, and we only found them by complete chance. It really makes you wonder, what else is down there? Right below us, just waiting for the right crack to appear in the ground. Maybe the biggest secret of all isn't just why they built these places, but what they tell us about ourselves, our need to find meaning, even in the darkest of places.